Hello everybody again. Welcome to the Automated Photo Documentation Property Management webinar. It is 2:01, so we'll try to get started slowly, and there's others trickling. Hopefully they're not going to miss too much. So we're getting right into it. We're going to talk about photos, data, reports, forms captured in the field, on sites, on property locations as it applies to property management, and discuss, let's call it the old way of doing things, and show you a new and a better way to do it, the way the Photo-In does it. A little bit about the company. We are headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. Target markets are actually many, given the fact that this opportunity or a problem actually is across verticals. It's basically a field task of capturing photo documentation. So we already have traction in construction, in property and facilities management, real estate, and most recently in insurance and claims adjusting and merchandising. One of the things that you will see here is that Photo-In at least works with any cloud storage provider and in-house server. The whole idea of you already have storage repositories, so why not leverage them for collecting photo documentation from the field? So we have strategic partnerships with Box, ShareFile by Citrix, Ignite, and also connectors to SharePoint, WebDAV connector to in-house servers, Oracle's Web Center content, most recently Intuit's QuickBase, and Google Drive, Dropbox, etc., also in the works. A little bit about some sample of the current customers. Like you can tell if you recognize a lot of the construction companies where we got our initial traction the beginning of this year when we sort of launched the production version of the solution, but also pest control companies, real estate services companies like Boomtown, Eagle Rock in terms of merchandising and distribution, and as the title of the webinar would indicate, working on the property management, we actually have multiple trials and asking for some logos, for permission for some logos to make it on this slide. So why photo documentation? Most of the time, this ends up reaching sort of to the choir. We all know the old one, the photo is worth 1,000 words. Oh, here's some numbers to support that, more specifically based on research. 90% of the information brain processes comes in visually, and visuals and images are 60,000 times faster processed than text. So maybe photo is worth 60,000 words rather than 1,000. And in terms of documentation, we all know how important it is in business. One of the stats that we thought was telling was 59% of managers miss important information because they cannot find it. So what does photo documentation mean in property management? Again, I expect that this is going to resonate with most of the attendees. Again, visuals and everything that happens on site and all the work that is performed when well documented adds a lot of value to the processes and to the overall business, and that's why everybody takes photos however they do it and try to leverage in some shape or form. Generally speaking, we break it down into sort of 4 categories: literally documenting property conditions and having that archived, regular inspections, move-ins and outs, in a sense of doing something on a regular basis in a standardized form, reporting to owners to the extent that the property management is a professional property management company and doesn't own the building and it needs to report its work performed on site, and then a little more real-time ongoing uses like change orders and regular maintenance requests where there's issues on site. In terms of the problem and what we see the process is on the in the field is very disjointed and very manual. So photos, information, and reports get captured with multiple different devices, even including notepad or pen and paper, different devices to capture photos. And then there's this manual process of actually transferring all those files back to the organization, organizing it, filing it, if at all named. Again, it's done manually, and generally you end up with photo files that are separated from the notes or the context files. Then when using whatever has been captured in the field, you have to look at a bunch of different photos to select a few. You're looking through random file names, usually an IMG and then some random number. There's lack of context as to what the photos actually represent, where they were taken, why they were taken, and then in terms of communicating and collaborating with that information and visual, usually it's used by attaching to something else, so more like an afterthought, and we still see a lot of emailing going on to share the photos. As we've looked at this overall process and basically identified its cumbersomeness and costliness in terms of capturing and delivering it to the business, we set out to solve and do it in a better way. We first sort of laid out what would be the profile of ideal photo documentation solution and concluded that it basically satisfies each of these steps and then a little bit more. So a simple to use single tool for documenting in the field. So instead of a disjointed capture experience doing it all together, instead of separately storing the photos from the rest of the files and the rest of the organizational storage, have a direct connections to companies' own storage systems because it's a business use and there's a multitude of users, have an easy way to manage the use, the files, the configurations, etc., with anytime and anywhere access. In today's world where different businesses do differently or everything gets done in different ways in terms of seeking for the best possible way that fits an organization, it is really important for the solutions that are delivered to businesses to be configurable to meet different needs and workflows. We in PhotoIN basically took this profile and went ahead to solve for it and basically created all the pieces as mentioned and laid out earlier. So we basically have a very easy and simple to use mobile app that basically does, I'm going to do a little demo, but basically enables you to capture the photos, the information, and even create reports or fill out templates in the field on one app and then directly store it in whatever your storage provider of choice is. In this case, we're going to be doing it with Box. And not only does it get it into Box, but it actually gets it into the right folder that fits the organization or the folder hierarchy or tree of that business. To manage this relationship between the field and the storage, i.e. the office, we also have a web management portal that enables you to configure this relationship and make the solution fit your needs, including custom filing hierarchy, custom tags, pre-specifying and geofencing projects, customizing reports, etc. And without further ado, I would actually at this point show you a live demo. So if you'll give me a second, I just need to project the server. Here we come. So right now I'm projecting my iPad. And we are already in the app, but here I'll come out just to show you down here on the bottom left. Photos getting filed into the cloud. Again, it's supposed to be very easy to use. So we're right in the gallery. The photos are there. Please pay attention to the top right, the action menu, the photos in the search bar. I'm going to click on the photo. I'm in our headquarters. Let's say that we're doing the property management inspection. Like you can tell, it already knows what location project I'm on. It instructs me that I can tap anywhere on the photo to create an annotation. and why don't we do something like a window fracture, and let's do a chair. I do a lot of chairs as I do these demos. You can do as many of these as you want. You can actually drag them around. If it's a bigger text, you can open it up to read it. Now I'm going to do a quick swipe from the left. And here you can tell the longitude and latitude, GPS. I'm actually checking, and I hope you guys can actually see this, because the projection of what you see looks like it's still the presentation. So I'm going to keep going and hope that everything is okay. Please do let me know. There's a question tab here that basically where you can talk to me and let me know what's going on. And if you are not seeing what I think you're seeing. So we have the GPS longitude and latitude, date and timestamp, a reverse address lookup to associate the address with the GPS location, which device took the photo, the project name again based on the GPS location, and then leveraging that key information to actually give photo a name. So you're no longer getting an IMG and then some random number. Also notice down here on the left side there's actually tags. So basically, as you want to specify where does this photo belong to in terms of its subcategory, you can tag it. And let's do here construction tag, equipment, a PM tag, what's called furniture, and you can have hallway, landscaping, laminate, whatever it may be. And down on the bottom left, you can actually write a bunch of comments. And here is the first sort of pillar that I will point out about Photo-In, is that actually everything you see on the screen, the software takes and embeds it into the photo as metadata. So literally that metadata is what enables you to get the data, to capture in this simple way, and then get the data in a nicely organized table, a database, but then you can use even for future analysis, etc. I will go back to the gallery and basically again call out the metadata, do a little swipe from the left. From the left you can actually look at and sort project photos by project, by address, date, device, and I will show you the devices that are associated with my account and then show you a map view. And here's an interesting one that shows the whole world, and a friend of mine traveling around the world and using the Photo-In app. So basically you can look at the photos on a map to the extent you have many properties that you want to reference real easily by map versus through folders. And then I'm going to leverage the top right search bar and show you how easily it is to find photos. So there, in less than a second, found 199 photos that have a chair in it that was annotated. I'm going to call out that basically the title doesn't have chair in it, so that basically gives you the validation that that metadata that's in the photo enables you to identify photos by just searching by keyword. Now I'm gonna actually we can also do reports, which we mentioned that as one of the use cases. So here's a basic report looking at a car, basically a bunch of photos, conclusions, action steps. I will do a quick preview of this to show you the title page with all the key information, and then how photos actually carry the reporting rather than text. And text is there just to provide a little bit more context about the photo. And let's do show you how an inspection would actually, a form would actually look like as it's being filled out in the field. This is a high-rise, so notice on the left side there's all the parts of the building that need to be inspected: roof, cooling tower, structural steel, metal surfaces. And you have 20 floors, and for each floor you can come in and look at the ceilings, the walls, the floors, take photos for each one of those questions. You can leverage the existing photos or take new ones, write comments, do yes, no answers, drop down, select one, select many, basically many different types of questions. And again, a much easier way to actually go through an inspection, capture all that information, and then not have to manually file it anywhere. It basically goes straight from the field. Now I'm going to put down the Air server and the iPad and go ahead and show you how this photo actually ends up in my storage provider of choice, which in this case is Box, where we manage all our business. So there's a folder that we leverage for the demo project. When I click in there, all the photos are actually organized by the project name, and within the project name it has a different tag. So today we use furniture for the chair, and I actually do that a lot, but basically I'm going to show you there's a photo that we just took together. It has a title and it has been filed into the appropriate folder automatically by the software. Next sort of question that you might ask is, how does the software know where to put the photo? That is where the whole idea of a web management portal comes into play. So like you can see here, the photos have a project and then the PM tag. And in terms of changing that up and doing it with different types of tags and different hierarchy, this is how easy it is to drag and drop. You can do the same thing for your reports. And please note this over here on the right, how easy it is. I'm going to go ahead and create a custom tag called webinar, and then add a value property, and literally it took me 10 seconds to do that. You can have as many tags as you want and values. The next question could be, how would the software know what project it was on? Basically that goes based on GPS. So here I'm going to show you how you can set up a new project by coming on a map, specifying a radius, geofencing that area so that any device that shows up within this geofence automatically is associated or associate those photos from that location with a project that you have previously defined. In terms of reports and rendering them, you can put in your own logo and also very easily deploy to hundreds of users by just specifying their permissions, entering their emails and inviting them, and on their mobile devices they're going to get a link that they can click on and automatically associate their device with your company account. I apologize. Let's keep on going and talk about a little more about devices. You can literally manage them post hoc, so basically come in and deactivate devices, change the permissions from upload download to upload only, or back and forth, have multiple devices that go for the same user, and then in the end actually look at all those photos. Notice how the thumbnails are actually loading up because PhotoIn doesn't store them for you. They're in your storage provider of choice, in this case again Box. You can do a multivariate slice and dice by project, by locations, tags, date ranges, or simply do a search. And let's go ahead and find the chair. And again, 199 chairs. You see that's a lot of the same thing, but basically came in today, like you can tell, the 22nd. So with that, I'm going to actually come back. Basically, this could be a point where you might have some questions. So please feel free to ask them from the questions pane on the webinar app. Be more than glad to answer any of them. So the reports, yes, you can configure your own. So basically whatever your standard is and whatever your types of questions are and types of answers that you would like to put in there, you can customize them for your use. And yes, this works the same way with the other storage providers that are listed here. Basically the software is set up in the same way to do the automated filing into the right folder within the existing storage. So what we've seen is basically how PhotoIn addresses each piece of what we profiled as the ideal photo documentation solution. So a single capture solution in the field, snap, tag, annotate photos, and create reports. The software automatically captures the GPS date, timestamp, user info, project info, and embeds all that data into the photo to go together with the photo as metadata. We also have connectors already pre-configured to work with these different storage providers that give you the automated and direct filing to company's own storage. You get basically immediately organized photo documentation and take out all that manual work out of the overall process. It enables the company to maintain control of the photos and data, and we can even drive real-time workflows in the sense of the functionality that you might have on your backend server preset, so that when certain files come in and certain data hits the server, either emails are sent or notifications are sent, red flags are wrote, or however your workflow looks like. And you've seen an easy to use web-based management that provides you access anytime and anywhere. You can search the photo, manage the users and permissions, access and analyze data, and then of course configure it in terms of filing hierarchy, tags, reports, predefining geofencing for projects and location, all that to suit your own needs. In the end, the difference here is it's the easy capture. It actually can save you time if you consider capturing notes on a piece of paper, photos with a digital camera, and then having to do all that manual work. You get lightning fast keyword search instead of losing hours to sort through a bunch of photos. You actually can capture more data to use for later analysis and automate and have photo and report initiated field to office workflows. And on top of it all this is actually fully configurable to fit your needs. So this is my backup slides in terms of if the live demo did not work out. So I'll actually go down and talk a little bit more about, we've actually even seen some of this additional functionalities listed on this slide, but let's talk about a little bit more about the use cases specifically and the return on investment you can expect with a solution like this, and actually going down the path of automating your photo documentation capture and management. So we talked about documenting property conditions. So in terms of capture and filing time, you can reduce that by over 30%. Basically, the time savings you can add up to thousands of dollars per user annually, and it actually helps you increase the happiness of your tenants, basically make them happy by providing them good work verification documentation of what was done in their space. It basically makes them more confident and more happy to be your tenant. Regular property management and maintenance, this is basically process improvement. You can collaborate on defects and issues immediately from the field back to the office or straight to the vendor, versus having a lot of repeated visits and losing hours and time in this communication. You can literally get it done from the field. In terms of something getting done and having proof of it in case any kind of disputes arise, or literally for a property management company to be able to verify that maintenance staff did what they were supposed to do. You get this GPS proof and date and timestamp, and again the configurability and the custom photo-centric reports that work for you the way you want them to and can be leveraged again in the maintenance request, move-in out, inspections, or even special constructions where some things are being done to the property. We talked also about regular reporting to owners. Again, the same features apply here, just like you send it back to your office. To the extent your storage enables it or you give access to the photo-in solution, the owners and third parties can have easy access to the information and the visuals that were captured on the field. Again, real-time collaboration. Again, saving thousands of dollars, not having to hire somebody else to verify that the work is done, because the good photo documentation does that for you. And then reports that carry your brand and basically set you apart towards the clients and the owners as leveraging the technology to make their lives easier and actually increase the yield. In terms of actual costs, when problems arise, it can actually help you reduce warranty and litigation costs. In terms of any kind of disputes or anything that you need to resolve, good visual proof that's admissible in court should help reduce these costs and also eliminate rework or something in special construction, for example, having to be done and figuring out where the responsibility lies. With that, we actually went a little bit less than half an hour. Sorry if I was kind of fast, but feel free to ask any questions that you might have. I'll start addressing some of these. Basically, yes, one of the big advantages here is the geographical coverage that you can achieve with one single solution, standardizing processes. Basically, all your guys and girls out in the field or vendors can get access to this app and permissions set up so that the overall solution functions across the organization for the different uses that you might have. In terms of pricing or the business model, if you will, it is a monthly fee per user. And this, we basically focus on creating value, and we don't mind having a conversation, trying to identify what is, not trying, but identifying what is the real value that PhotoIN has provided, and then figuring out the pricing that works best for you there. Some people, or most people, really don't need all that much custom stuff. They just basically, they like to see it and like to know that they can do it, but at the end they end up using one report, or basically end up standardizing the processes to enable them to achieve these productivity gains. Yeah, there's really no limitations on the photos that you can take or file. That is all pretty much I guess limited by your storage, if at all. The technology today is just moving at such accelerated speed, and the cycles are so short that literally it depends on the internet connection how fast it's going to sync, but even that is getting better and better, and actually we don't really experience any complaints unless people are in really remote areas and are leveraging really bad connections, in which case they can just wait to come into a Wi-Fi and continue the sync. Let me maybe point out there that when the sync is slow, it doesn't really reinitiate. It just continues from the point where it stopped last time. So basically, you don't really lose and don't have any issues in terms of continuing to sync. And one of the best practices that we recommend is to sort of do it on a daily basis, so you don't end up having a backlog of photos that you need to sync up. I'll just keep inviting comments or questions. Also, as you see here, I've given my email, so feel free to contact me directly, or sales@PhotoIN or support@PhotoIN. We'll be more than glad to take any other questions offline, but I'll stay a few more minutes if any of you have additional questions. So in terms of, yes, you did not see any logos of current customers, but we do have many in the property management space. Again, we're a young company. We do have this free trial, and in terms of getting to sign contracts that allow us to leverage the names and the logos, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it's coming. But yes, we already have this solution being used out in the field, multiple instances, some big companies as well, but again, I'm not going to throw out names. It is really not that hard to deploy. We have quick start guides, etc. I think you've noticed that this is not supposed to be complicated. It's just that's why technology and automation, we're actually trying to make it as easy as possible, and we actually have some other things that are in the pipeline in terms of improvements that we think will make, well, we are actually pretty sure that it will make the solution even easier to use and just basically continue to raise the standards as to how to simplify and further automate the photo documentation life cycle management, if you will. Capture, managing, accessing, retrieving, leveraging, using, analyzing, etc. Okay, people are popping off. Let me wait another minute if there's any other questions. I'll actually stop recording right here and then stay online.